Do you think accelerating a sports car to 200 kilometers per hour on the highway is the peak of adrenaline? Wipe that out of your mind right now. Imagine being strapped into an ejection seat at 15,000 meters of altitude, tearing through the sky at more than twice the speed of sound. You're not driving. You're wearing a war machine worth hundreds of millions of dollars. One miscalculation, 1 millisecond of distraction, and you turn into dust in the air before you can even blink. Today, you're going to discover what it's like to leave the ground, survive the hell of the most rigorous military training in the country, and become the worst nightmare of any threat in Brazilian airspace. Hold your breath, lock your abs, because the G-force is about to crush your chest starting now. Did you think you'd just put on some Top Gun-style sunglasses and start flying? Forget it. Your first year at the Air Force Academy, the famous AFA in Piracunga, is designed exclusively to break your body.
What are you doing? Stand firm!
Mind.
Don't you show weakness to me!
They want to rip every trace of weakness, hesitation, and fear out of you. You wake up at 5 a.m., no matter if it's raining rocks or freezing cold. Push-ups on hot asphalt, crawling through mud, running until you taste blood in your throat and throw up your lunch.
Give up. This is too hard.
And the
We're
worst
done.
part
Not me.
isn't the physical pain. The worst part is the psychological terror. The instructors are constantly in your ear testing your limits, pushing you to the edge of collapse. They want to know exactly who is going to creep. Because up there, flying at Mach 2, if you panic, you don't die alone. You take the mission and millions of dollars of government equipment down with you. You spend months locked away studying advanced aerodynamics, physics, meteorology, and navigation systems, all while your body is completely destroyed from exhaustion. You watch your dorm mates, the ones who look the strongest, crying and quitting one by one. But not you. You swallow the tears. You endure the pressure.
Oh no!
Going to creep.
Engines out, gliding now.
Because up there,
what do I do?
flying at Mach
Airspeed,
2,
trim for glide.
if you panic, you don't die alone. You take the mission and millions of dollars of government equipment down with you. You spend months locked away studying advanced aerodynamics, physics, meteorology, and navigation systems, all while your body is completely destroyed from exhaustion. You watch your dorm mates, the ones who look the strongest, crying and quitting one by one. But not you. You swallow the tears. You endure the pressure. You want the controls stick more than you want to breathe. Congratulations, you survived the basics and earned the right to prove you're not made of glass. Now comes the real test, the centrifuge. You step into a tight metal capsule. The door locks, and it starts spinning at an insane speed to simulate the G-forces of a fighter jet making a tight turn. When it hits 7 or 8 Gs, it feels like an elephant is sitting on your chest. Your blood rushes down into your legs. Your vision turns gray. The colors disappear, and then everything closes into a dark tunnel, the dreaded tunnel vision. If you don't perform the exact breathing maneuver, tightening your abs, and legs with maximum force to push the blood back to your brain, you black out. It's G-LOC, gravity-induced loss of consciousness. Most people black out on the first try. But you clench your jaw and hold on. Then the big day arrives, the T-25 Universal. Your first real flight. The instructor sits beside you. Your hand sweating on the control stick. The feeling of freedom is indescribable, but it doesn't last long. Out of nowhere, the instructor shuts off the engine midair just to see how you react under extreme pressure. Engine failure. Cadet, what do you do? The panel starts beeping like crazy. The aircraft begins to fall. You have 10 seconds to stabilize, find an empty area, and perfectly simulate an emergency landing. Sweat runs inside your helmet, burning your eyes. You recite the core. Procedures. Pull the stick. Stabilize. You nail it. The instructor gives a small sideways smile. You were born for this. Time passes. The academy years end. And the most tense moment of your life arrives. separating the best from the rest. Not everyone becomes a fighter pilot. The Air Force is huge. There are rotary wings, helicopter pilots from search and rescue squadrons, descending on winches into dense jungle under gunfire to save lives. There's transport aviation, carrying tons of supplies and troops deep into the Amazon in the C-390 Millennium. But your target is different. The first line of defense, the tip of the spear. You want fighter aviation. Only the best of the best, the absolute elite. The top 1% of the class earns that spot. Your name appears on the list. You are sent to Natal, to the Joker Squadron. Your new machine is the A-29 Super Tucano. And now the difficulty truly increases, because now it's not just about learning to fly. Now it's about learning to hunt. You learn to drop 250 kg bombs with surgical precision. You learn to fire a .50 caliber machine gun shredding targets on the ground. And most importantly, dogfighting, one-on-one aerial combat, where you must read the enemy's mind, anticipate his moves, and pull insane maneuvers to get his aircraft in your sights before he gets you in his. It's chess at 800 kilometers per hour. You graduate. Now you are an official hunter of the Brazilian Air Force, and your first real mission. Arrive, Scorpion Squadron, northern border of Bill. The Amazon, where international trafficking operates. You're on air defense alert, sleeping in your flight suit on the squadron couch, 3 in the morning. The siren blasts through your ears. It's a real scramble. In less than 5 minutes, you're already inside the cockpit of the Super Tucano, turbine on, taking off into absolute darkness. Air defense radar has detected a clandestine flight, a twin-engine aircraft flying low, with its transponder off, trying to enter Brazil carrying half a ton of drugs. You climb, cut through the clouds, and are guided by the flight controller, target at 20 miles. Heading 040, you activate the night sensors. There it is. The trafficker's plane trying to hide in the darkness. You pull alongside it. The trafficker pilot jumps when he sees the shadow of a heavily armed fighter jet next to his window. You switch the radio to the emergency frequency. Intercepted aircraft. This is the Brazilian Air Defense. Change your heading and land immediately, or you will be shot down. The pilot tries to run. He dives toward the trees, trying to escape radar. But you are a hunter. You stick to his tail. You request authorization from command. Warning shot authorized. You unlock the .50 and fire a burst of red tracers that rip through the air just a few meters from the nose of his plane. The pilot freezes. He knows the next burst goes straight into the engine. He gives up. He lowers the landing gear and heads to a clandestine airstrip where the federal police are already waiting. Mission accomplished. You prevented millions in drugs from entering the country, but the top of the food chain was still ahead. After years proving your value in real missions, you are selected for the most technologically advanced defense squadron in Latin America, Jaguar Squadron. You are introduced to the F-39 Gripen. This is no longer just an airplane. It's a flying computer with missiles. You put on the helmet, and the display is no longer on the panel. It's in the visor in front of your eye. Wherever you look, the missile aims. You take off, let's accelerate. Mach ein Teil, mach 1. Maio, break the sound barrier. You cross Brazil in minutes. Up there, in the stratosphere, the sky is no longer blue. It begins to turn dark. You look down and see the curvature of the Earth. Inside the oxygen mask, the silence is absolute. Only the sound of your own breathing. At that moment, you understand the weight of what you've become. You're not just someone who wanted to fly. You are the shield of more than 200 million people. The tip of the spear of your nation's sovereignty. The one who, if the worst happens, will be the first to go into combat and the last to return. The ground far below looks small, but the responsibility on your shoulders is enormous. And you wouldn't trade this view, this speed, and this power for anything in the world. End of flight. Hunter, returning to base. So, would you have the courage to join the Brazilian Air Force? Leave a comment if you would black out in the centrifuge, or become the Brazilian Top Gun.